Hey guys, how's it going? This is Khan, Mr. So Real, and welcome to this week's Good or Garbage, the number one place where you can find all of the weapons, blueprints, mods, attachments, and everything you need to pick up for the division that is worth your time, credits, and basically anything that's going to help out your build. Now this week I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna keep it 100% real. There's a whole bunch of trash, a whole bunch of garbage, but there are a couple of the top picks, so you can always find those down in the description. Thanks to you guys showing so much love with the videos and showing me how much you really appreciate the timestamps. I'm keeping it going. So as always, if you guys can hit it with a like, hopefully we can get up to, let's push it a little bit. Let's say get up to about 200 likes and keep the views coming. Then we'll keep it going and keep it rocking. It really helps out a lot. And again, I really do appreciate all of the support that you guys are showing me. And why don't we get started and get into this? You definitely want to pick up the LVOA-C if you don't have a better one. You can find all of the top picks and stuff in the description, in the timestamps, and let me know what you guys pick up. It's always helpful to know what you guys pick up so that when I do these videos, it's easier for me to kind of know what the audience is looking for in terms of their builds. So let's go. Starting at the special blueprint vendor this week, we have the military M9 pistol blueprint, we have the SASG shotgun blueprint, we have the holster blueprint, we have the stamina knee pads blueprint, the Omega rifle suppressor, the 15x scope, which gives you optimal range, not recommended, the firearms gear mod, and the electronics gear mod blueprints. If you need any of these blueprints, you can go ahead and pick them up at the special blueprints vendor. Moving on to the special equipment vendor, we have the Pecan this week with 14% damage to targets out of cover. The talents are skilled, determined, and Pecan. We also have the Liberator with 18% enemy armor damage. The base damage on this is not that great. It's at 23, which is pretty low. It does come with brutal, swift, and accurate. I would probably give that a pass just because the base damage is so bad. We also have the Centurion with I guess decent base damage for this type of weapon. We have expert and intense, but I say only if you need it and you're desperate. The Cassidy, I would pass on this one. Predatory capable boomstick is a definite no-no. Historian headshot damage at 155, kind of meh, a little under par for me. Vicious, talented, and history repeats. This is definitely another pass. Now getting on to the weapons, there's nothing really that stands out for me this week except for the military M870 shotgun. This is probably a top pick for this week if you need a shotgun, a hard hitter. The stagger on it is really nice at 323. It also comes with some sick talents, namely deadly, brutal, and competent. Competent in the third slot means you don't have to worry about electronics. So if you're running straight DPS and you're straight dumping on people, then this is the one to go for. The rest of these, yeah, like I said, not all that great. Now moving on to the gear, in terms of what is being sold, there's slim pickings this week. Now this Tactician's Authority vest, although the armor is quite garbage, the health roll, the skill haste, and the ammo capacity are pretty decently nice. The only other problem is that the health is pretty bad. So if you are desperate, and I'm going to stress this, if you're desperate for a Tactician's vest, then you can go ahead and pick this up and then figure out your reroll on your firearms, electronics, or stamina, and then kind of roll with that crappy armor. But that's only if you're desperate. But still, 832 Phoenix credits, I would still say this is probably a pass. Now moving on to the rest of this stuff, there's nothing that really jumps out as anything super amazing. A lot of this stuff is kind of a pass, or you have to make some kind of huge sacrifice. Now the Firecrest Gloves have really nice armor on them. They come with 16% crit hit damage. Unfortunately, it's Marksman rifle, which I'm pretty sure most Firecrest users aren't using a Marksman. But if you are, this is probably some great gloves for you, and you could reroll the firearms and be okay. 9% skill haste, great for that Firecrest build. But if you're not running Marksman, then you have to make a trade-off between rolling that Marksman damage to something else and then going for your firearms and sorting that out. So it's kind of a, if you're desperate situation again, then you can go for that. Same thing to be said about the Alpha Bridge gloves. Armor is great, assault rifle is alright, but you have pistol damage and pretty weak firearms. So if you're desperate again, then yeah, this should probably be the if you're desperate video. So moving along, the rest of this stuff, the Omega rifle suppressor, if you don't have anything better. The headshot damage is good, crit hit chance is good, stability is not ideal. I'd rather have crit hit damage, but reduced threat is nice at 50%. If you don't have anything better, then definitely go and pick it up, but if you do, then that's a definite pass. And the rest of this is pretty much not that great. At the advanced weaponry vendor, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, most of this stuff is crap. Not most of it, all of it is crap. The converted USC does have pretty nice crit hit chance. It does have brutal, responsive, and ambusher. Not bad talents, but the problem is the base damage for such a slow firing weapon is not that great. The G36, again, base damage could be a lot better. The talents responsive and prepared and focused. Don't really know about prepared. The accuracy on the G36 is just not that great for longer ranges, so I would say no. There's a much better shotgun downstairs. The first wave M1A headshot damage is a little bit low. Brutal, competent, balanced, all nice, but again, the headshot damage is a bit low. If you can deal with that and you don't mind, then yeah, definitely go for it. It's only regular credits, but for me personally, that headshot damage makes a lot of difference. But swapping out balance for something else could work out really well. You just have to deal with that headshot damage. That's just up to you. The tactical powder, I would say probably is a no. The talents on it are not that great, and the attachments for this week are pretty much trash. All of this is straight garbage. Don't buy any of this. The special weapon vendor in the base of operations has a pretty sick AUG A3P in terms of base damage. Now the crit hit chance could be better. The talents are not that great. Hurried, commanding, and ferocious. But I guess if you're using this for PvE, this could be alright. It could be very usable. You'd have to get rid of commanding. Ferocious for damage against named enemies could be pretty good. Hurried would get you even faster reload speed, so it wouldn't be too bad. So you'd have to do something with commanding, but the base damage is where this thing really shines. This is in the upper, I would say probably upper 90s, probably about in the 90s, maybe not 90 past 95, but it's about 94 or something, close to 95 percentile of base damage. So this is a really high base damage for this weapon, but yeah, the talents are not that great. But if you are using it for PvE, it could work out mildly alright, could be okay. In Autumn's Hope, for the guys looking for a stamina mod, maybe for responsive, there's one on sale that also has health. The stamina mod has 261 stamina on it, and it also comes with 3,221 health, which isn't too bad. So if you need something like this, you can go ahead and pick that up. In Kerman Station, there is another AUG being sold. This one with slightly less base damage. This one knocks it down into the 80 percentile, not the 90s. But the crit hit chance is much better. The talents are also better as well. So you have talented, you have determined, responsive, and meticulous. Sorry about that. Now, meticulous is on such a small magazine, I would say probably not that useful, but responsive is good. So if you are running a build and you need to have your skills and you do have enough electronics for determined, you could always roll off meticulous and put something a little bit better for an SMG. Responsive is pretty much universally known as a good talent for SMGs, so this could work out for you, just depends on what you're running. I personally would not run this in a PvP situation, and I more than likely would not run this in a PvE situation, but I'm not in charge of the vendor resets. I'm just giving you guys the news, so you do what you like. In Madison's Last Stand, if you have been looking for some PvE knee pads, then these are some pretty decent ones. 1,637 armor, which is pretty decent. Then it comes with 3% enemy armor damage and 15% damage to elites. Got 30% bleed resistance and 31% disorient. But this is strictly for PvE. I got a couple messages last week about people saying, talking crap about me recommending knee pads. But hey man, some people need these and some people don't play PvP. So for the PvE players out here, this is something that could help you out if you need it. If you do, then cool. If you don't, keep it moving. In East 54th Street, there is a specialized bag for sale. The armor on it is okay at $12.57, but the shining moment for this thing is the health. The health is at 13,148. The max health you can get on a bag is actually 13,339, so it's not too far off of the max. So if you want to have a bag with some health on it, this could be pretty decent for you. And like I said, the armor roll on it isn't that bad. Whoa, over in East 53rd Street, finally I got something to talk about. The LVOA-C being sold. Oh my goodness. The base damage on it is pretty nice at 25.5 with this character. The enemy armor damage is at 23, and then we get to the talents. It just gets prettier and prettier. We got Predatory, we've got Deadly, and we've got Competent in the third. So yeah, you kind of only need Adept in the first and get enough electronics, and then you kind of good to go with this. Comparing this to the one that I use, which is a little bit better, I've got almost similar talents, but I think this one that's being sold is really good. If you don't have an M4 or an LVOA-C that's somewhere around this in terms of the talents and the base damage, then you definitely do want to get something like this. Remember that your base damage will be different from mine if your firearms are different, but there are calculators you can find online to kind of determine where these things stand, and I'm telling you, this is a pretty good one to have. So definitely, if you need an M4 or an LVOA-C, this is one that you definitely want to pick up. This is a top pick, so go for it. Over at West 46th Street, there is an M700 Carbon being sold. The headshot damage is at 164, which could be a bit better. The base damage for this character is at 144, which also could be a bit better. But it does have trained. It also has competent and elevated. I know that the M700s are pretty hard to find, so just wanted to throw it out there for this week in case you were desperate for one and you really needed one. The base damage could be a bit better, but it is not terribly horrible. But yeah, trained is probably not the best thing you'd want on it. You probably want brutal in that slot, but then everything else is pretty okay. The headshot damage could be a little bit better, but yeah, everything else is pretty good after that. So yeah, make a decision. If it's something you need and you're desperate for it, then go for it. Over in East 46th Street, for those of you guys looking for a crit hit damage scope, you've got a C79 Scope with 19% crit hit damage, 2% accuracy, and 6% headshot damage. So if you need something like this, unfortunately there's no crit hit chance on this, but still not too bad. If you need it, go ahead, pick it up. In West 34th Street, for those of you looking for an electronics mod with a little bit of health on it, you've got one with 265 electronics, 2,865 health. I would prefer over 3,000, but you know, you get what you can. The electronics roll on it is really nice, so hey, if you need something like this, go ahead and pick it up. At West 31st Street, if you were looking for a firearms gear mod with some skill power, you're in luck. There's one with 264 firearms and 3,029 skill power. This is pretty good. If you are in need of these, you should definitely go ahead and check them out. In East 31st Street, it seems like it's more mods today. We've got a stamina mod with 265 stamina and 3% skill haste. I know people are still hungry for that skill haste, so if you can bear with it being stamina, then there you go. It's not a bad roll on stamina anyway, so hey, if you need it, go ahead, pick it up. In DZ3, looking at the weapons that are for sale, the only thing really worth talking about is the PP19 with 20.5% critical hit chance, really high. This is in the over 95 percentile. I think it's probably like 96 or maybe even more percentile of base damage, plus the talents with skilled, competent, and hurried. This is probably one of the better ones that you're going to get. So if you are looking for a PP19, I would say pick this up. In DZ6, there is a really nice Lonestar holster being sold. The armor on it is 952. Firearms at 1249, stamina at 1260, and electronics 1262. Plus it also comes with crit hit chance at 3.5. This is a pretty nice holster to have, especially if you want to finish out your Lonestar set. Holsters are usually the hardest to find to have stats over 1260, so definitely go ahead, pick this up, and then start rolling either your crit hit chance to be skill haste or something like that, or you could also even just roll your firearms to be even higher than it is, depending on what you want. Go ahead if you need it and pick it up. In DZ8, the Dark Zone vendor has a Predator's Mark mask. It's not too bad, could be a little bit better, but if you are in need of a Predator's Mark mask with some decent armor, then this is one to maybe consider. It has 998 armor, it has 9,032 skill power, and it has 14% increased kill XP. Now the skill power, the most you can get for skill power on a mask is 10,030. So you're about 1,000 shy of the max skill power, and with the increased kill XP, it would come in handy for this double rewards for the I forget what it's called, but there's a double rewards event for leveling up this weekend. So if you are looking to get some extra caches before the 1.7 update, then maybe a mask like this could help you out. But yeah, just a shameless plug, so yeah. In DZ9, we have a Deadeye mask with 998 armor. Also comes with 1264 firearms, which is pretty nice. And then it comes with 10.5% exotic damage resilience. This could be good for those seeker mines and flame turrets that are always on your ass. Then we've got a 16% disorient resist, which not a big fan of. And then getting on to something else, we have the Final Measure backpack, which has 1284 armor, 1127 electronics, so you will have to do something about that, but it does come with a very healthy amount of skill power, 13,324 to be exact. And again, the maximum you can have on a bag is 13,339, so very close to the maximum skill power. And then you have 15% burn resist, which a lot of people like. Now moving on, the last thing of note worth talking about in the DZ9 base, you have the muzzle. There's an Omega rifle suppressor muzzle. This one is different from the one in the base of operations. The headshot damage is slightly lower. This is at 18%. But this one does have crit hit damage. So this has 4% crit hit damage, 3% crit hit chance, slightly less reduced threat. This is only at 43 instead of 50, and it has a little bit less, well, 0.5% less headshot damage. So if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably pick this one over the one in the base, just because the crit hit damage at 4% is pretty substantial. And that will pretty much wrap up the vendor reset and this week's good or garbage. Thank you guys for stopping by and checking out this week's good or garbage for the vendor reset. Really hope all of you found something worthwhile or something that you could use. I know there was a lot of trash, but there were some decent mods this week, so I hope you found something useful. And if you did, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what it is you picked up. It'd be greatly appreciated. And if you like, remember you can check me out in my live streams. I do play other games besides the Division. I tend to play other games besides the Division, but today we are going to be playing some Division, some Underground. Me, Cracker Jacks, and No Love. A bunch of guys from the streams, Stream T. Hope you guys come and chill with us, you know, kick it. And if you missed this live stream and you're seeing this video somewhere in the middle of the week, just remember that I really do sincerely appreciate all of you guys for taking the time to check out the videos, leave your comments, hit the like button, share, and all that other stuff. You guys are helping this channel to grow, so I hope that we can continue this, and hopefully we can get more and more people here to support the channel and start talking about the Division and getting some constructive criticism going, and hopefully we can get this game back on track. And if not, there's other games to play and we can enjoy those as well. So until the next video, I'm Khan, Mr. So Real. I'll catch you guys later on. I'm gone. Peace. Khan.